Sometimes.
Oh no, we did it again.
Ooh,
It happened again, Clint.
happened again. Arkansas seems to make me sad.
It happened again.
Happened again, but
We should
don't
probably.
don't 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 panic yet. You can be
I
a
want
little.
to I want to panic.
No, don't panic. It's okay to be a little upset, but don't panic.
Well, let's talk
Hey,
about it. Maybe
we're
it'll
gonna.
make me
Hey,
feel
what?
better.
Travis is pessimistic. I'm optimistic. Who
Well, I
knows?
don't know why I'm pessimistic. I predicted us to lose this game,
Well, I think it's how it
but
was lost. I
yeah,
think it was how it was lost.
we'll talk
We'll
about
get
it.
it. We'll get into it. We'll get. Hey,
Welcome to the show, folks.
welcome to the Slop House. Remember, before
Hawg
you do
Slop,
anything else, yeah, before you do anything else, like, share, subscribe,
please.
tell your friends. We need
We
you.
need the encouragement right now.
Please,
Please.
yeah.
My
We need.
Browns lost too to the Cowboys.
Well,
Freaking Cowboys.
hey, Baker Mayfield had a heck of a game.
He did. That makes me feel much better.
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Never seen a blind man see? I promise you a change his name. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you a change his name.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hawg Slop Podcast with Big C and Bigger T. I'm your boy, Bigger T. As always, I'm joined by my best friend, Big C, Clint Clark. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm fantastic. I'm a little upset, a little sad. I don't let a game run my day, but dadgummit, it was kind of sad. It was a little sad, and I was hurt. I was confused. I'm like, and I was getting questions from other people, like, how did this happen? And I'm like, like, Hog's gonna hog, man. I don't
That's
know what
right. Yeah. What
Hog's
else
gonna
can you
hog.
say?
It
What
was
else can you say?
it hurt, but there's a lot to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot to feel good about. And I think that's kind of what we're going to go over today.
Well, by the end of this, okay, I'm gonna spoil what I'm gonna say later because
Go
we're gonna talk
ahead.
about some other things first. But I'm gonna say I told you so. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I told you so. That's all.
No.
So anyway, before we get into that, what's been going on with you? Anything exciting in life right now?
Well, I was telling you about my trip to Vegas, my road trip to Vegas.
Yeah,
So
we talked about Pete Rose.
we decided on the way back that we wanted to go see Zion, which was beautiful. It's in Utah. So we ended up back through Colorado. Now
As you were walking and as you were going to Zion, did you the old hymn stick in your mind? We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion.
And surprisingly, no.
Oh, well.
So
No.
we hey, but you know what? I got to drive through the Rocky Mountains on the way back in pitch black night, but I did get to see beautiful Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
It smelled like cow crap, didn't it?
I'm like, this is a great trade. Who wouldn't take this?
That's right. Yeah.
Who wouldn't take it? And we woke up in the flat part of Colorado. Now, what I did learn, we stopped and ate at a Wendy's, and we're like, okay, we're gonna eat. We had lunch. We were 120 miles to empty. We're in Utah, on like a pretty what feels like a major interstate.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna, you know what? About an hour and a half. We'll need to get gas. We'll want to stretch our legs. Let's go. And we're driving, and we're driving, and we're driving, and we're driving, and we have not seen a gas station. Like, we're getting concerned at this point. And we come to an exit, and normally you have like all the the pizzazz. Or, hey, you want to come see us at Casey's right over here? Like, no, well, you're more of a Phillips 66 guy on the signs, but there's not. There's there's a sign about the size of a Post-it note, it feels like, that's like a gas pump. We're like, oh, okay, well, there's a gas pump. Let's
That
get off.
may have gas.
Yeah, so we're like, well, we're hoping. So we get off the exit, and there's a sign that says gas. There's 12 miles that way to the left. Or the next service is 70 miles that way. We are about 40 miles to empty.
Mm.
So we were like, well, we'll take the 12. So we drive through just beautiful, beautiful Utah.
Yeah.
Nowhere, just nothingness.
Yeah.
And so we
Been
get
there,
out
yeah.
the spot, and it's finally we get to the gas station, and like at this time, by this time, it don't even tell me how many miles to empty anymore. It just
It's just
says,
like, dude, get some gas.
Get some gas.
This
Hey,
could be
buddy.
bad.
Hey, buddy, you need to get some gas.
Hey, do you know where you're at?
So we're doing the math, like, okay, we're about 30 miles to empty. So we need to figure something out. So we get to the gas station, it's closed. And it is a thing that looks about the size of the Worcester post office.
Oh, nice.
You want to describe about how big that is, Travis?
Well, imagine what you've heard about New York City apartments.
Yeah, that's
Something like that. Yeah.
Very, very close. Very
Well,
similar.
well, I'll put it this way. You know those roadside deals where you can buy sheds? Most of those are bigger.
Yeah. So, and it's like one pump out front. And it, like I said, the station's closed. We're like, oh no, what are we gonna do? And so Anna's like, well, let's stop and I'll start Googling. And I said, well, maybe it's 24/7 pay at the pump, because surely they know this is the only gas within like an 80-mile radius.
Yeah.
Is this one single pump?
Maybe they've got that technology. Yeah.
In the yeah. Unfortunately, it was 24/7 pay at the pump. Way higher gas than anywhere else, but I was willing to pay. It
didn't matter. Yeah.
It did not matter. Like they could have named their price at that point. I was paying it.
Yeah.
So yeah, pure panic. Just like, oh God, you feel that there's nothing that brings on diarrhea like just stranded in the middle of nowhere.
Knowing there's nowhere to go.
Anyway.
It kind of reminds me of the have you seen that there's a new movie out? It's not been out very long. The Last Stop in Yuma County. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
It's kind of set to where it's, out west somewhere, and there's this it's a hotel, gas station, and a diner. And it's like a murder mystery, well, not really mystery, but it's anyway, there's some killing in it. But anyway, it's
People
kind of
die.
sort of a Quentin Tarantino type movie, sort of, in some ways. It's really, really good. And the whole thing is at this place. And these people are stopping because and they're waiting on gas. They're waiting on the gas truck. So that's kind of the whole theme of it. There's people are showing up at this diner, and the cast of characters is interesting. So it's a good movie out there, folks. If you hadn't seen it,
I haven't seen it. I know about it.
Anyway, well, in our Holy Snikes, Clint, being a Arkansas boy, like we are, growing up, we got the Razorback games whenever they were on, which wasn't all that often. There was a lot of them.
No. I mean, like that's, I guess, different times, because Paul Ills is an institution.
Yeah.
Like, we know who Chuck Barrett is, but it's not like, I mean, Chuck.
Yeah.
If
you depended on Paul a lot.
Yeah, you depended on Paul. Paul like told you the game. Like,
and part of your basketball games you got because of Paul, because Channel 7 would do anyway. But so our only other chance to watch a team regularly was through NBC Channel 4, and it was the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So I have to admit, I root for Touchdown Jesus.
I do not.
You couple Notre Dame with Rudy. Okay,
good movie.
I'm kind of a Notre Dame fan. Okay, not a huge fan. I don't like pay attention to their recruiting or anything like that. But if they're on, I'm going to root for them. That's
Right.
pretty much it. I don't buy a Notre Dame hat. I did have a Notre Dame starter jacket back in the day,
You're
but
so
that's
cool.
it. I was real cool then.
Real cool.
Not cool anymore. But
No.
so
I
anyway,
mean, I have a starter jacket.
not a starter jacket cool. I'm not a
Not
starter
cool.
jacket cool. No.
Not cool.
No.
Hey, you could sneak some snacks in the movie theater with a starter
You
jacket.
can sneak a lot of things with a starter
Yeah, I
jacket.
mean, my goodness, I got a 12-piece bucket of chicken one time, brought it right in there.
That's right. You get
And
a
a gallon of
smoked
sweet tea.
ham. You
Matter of fact,
could bring the
we,
Thanksgiving turkey into the movie
as we say,
theater.
me and the family, we just do Thanksgiving every year at the movie theater.
We just that's how we would do Christmas dinner. Everybody would open their starter jackets and we'd go to the movie theater.
Can you
Hide our
tell the Hogs
food.
lost because we're like
Yeah, that's right.
Thanksgiving
So
dinner started.
anyway, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Woo! Hey, you know what? They're a good team, dude. They just went down to Texas A&M to Kyle Field College.
That's right. They beat those Aggies.
They beat those Aggies. They're going to be unbeatable. I guarantee you, they're going to be a playoff team.
No,
Nothing's going to stop them, Travis. Nothing.
Clint, no. Northern Illinois
Why my
came to
husky
town.
looking at me funny? What?
Yeah, that's right. It's like, do you know what we did, yo?
What's
We
that, dude?
schooled them Irish. That's right. Northern Illinois.
In Notre Dame's
Congratulations, Northern Illinois.
They are in Notre Dame's defense, that is the best team in all of Northern Illinois.
That's right. That's right.
It really is. I mean,
that's right.
I mean,
in their county, there's no other team better.
There's no other. The
County.
northern part of Illinois, they've got that on lock.
Got on lock. That's right.
No, Travis, I don't know if this is a good time to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up now because I brought a point to you. I think the transfer portal has brought something that I don't know if college football is needed, but it has brought parity to me to college football more than anything else.
Oh, yeah.
I was telling you before we went on, I think, there's two clear 1A, 1B schools. Mm-hmm. I think Texas and Georgia are about as good a football teams there are in the country.
Yeah.
I think the best two football teams in the country. And I'm going to be just downright honest. I don't know who number 3 is.
Yeah.
I think you could take about 40 schools, a good 40, and you could put them in a hat, and on any given day, any of them could beat anyone. I think everyone's got talent, and it's any given week, anybody could beat anybody, and I don't know. I was telling you before I think, all right, to me, there's only one game on Arkansas' schedule that I don't think is winnable. I just don't see us beating Texas A&M unless they all get massive diarrhea.
Yeah.
Which I would hate to happen to them.
Well, right now, Ohio State is number 3. So I would put Ohio State close to those two.
I would not. I
don't think they're as good, but I think they would be my next tier.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is number 4. I think the drop, to be honest with you, I think it's the first two. I think it's Georgia and Texas. I think then you have a drop off to Ole Miss. I mean to Ohio State. Then you have a drop off again to Ole Miss and Alabama. And I think there's probably, you got Ole Miss, Alabama, Tennessee, Oregon. I'm not a believer in Oregon, but I'm never going to be a believer in Oregon. I think the Alabama, Ole Miss, Tennessee, I think you could put them in a hat. I think any of those. Yeah. You got Miami up there. See, I'm not, they could get beat.
We'll say this,
Penn State, Missouri.
Florida, and let's just be honest with you. Florida quit before the season even began, it feels like.
So you're right. I mean, there's definitely parity.
There's definitely parity, but
it's going to be interesting to see who gets those 12 seeds, man. It really is.
Well, and speaking of parity, this was a game I know you had picked us to lose. I think
Yep.
I picked us to win. Um, and anyway, well, unfortunately, you're right. I was
Yeah.
wrong.
I didn't want to be right, folks. I did not want to
No,
be
no,
right.
he didn't want to be. Didn't want to be right. This was one of them games. You watch the game, and there's no other way to put it. Just plain and simple. Arkansas had the better football team. Just plain.
If you take away the mistakes.
If you take away the
No,
mistakes,
wait, I'm sorry. Clint, we might could say if you take away one of the mistakes.
dude,
There was about 4 or 5 plays that if you take away one of those 4 or 5 mistakes,
yeah.
this game could have been very different.
I'm everybody loves to hate on Sam Pittman. Not everybody. I know me and you don't. We both love Sam Pittman.
Mm.
And the fact is, Sam Pittman, if he's going to keep his job, has got to figure out a way to win these.
Yeah.
He just does. But the defensive scheme was good. The offensive scheme was good. The the and this one's one of the few times I'm going to say, look, this one it's on the players to me. Pittman could have made a couple different decisions, but at the end of the day, he didn't muff the punt. He didn't suplex the Oklahoma State player.
Yeah.
And he's talking about his decision to go for it on 4th and 5. He goes, look, I second guess everything, but to me, that was the right decision.
Yeah.
We just didn't convert. And I don't think the decisions were bad on Pittman's part. You mix all those kicks. I mean, he misses three huge kicks. It's just, hey,
And while we're in the defending mode, one of the things I've been hearing yesterday and today, and Saturday night, is blaming Scott Fountain, the special teams coach. Okay, you got 2 kickers that have apparently been fighting it out for the kicker job. Okay. I don't know whose decision. I don't know if it's Fountain or Pittman's. I want to see the other guy if they've been going head to head. After you see the one miss, I want to see the other guy. If they're that even, okay. If they're not that even, because they've been telling us in preseason they've been even. Pittman's been coming in and Fountain's been coming into press conferences saying those two are 1A and 1B. I mean, they're right there with each other.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that, Travis, because to me, kid misses a kick, he shouldn't be scared of getting the hook. Now, maybe
That's true, but that's
maybe next game after missing 2 big ones like he did, I can see doing it now.
But it's early in the season, Clint. Now's the time where you let them compete for the job in a real game. You had them competing in practice whenever it's, and
I just completely disagree with you that we do it after 1 kick.
Well,
I mean,
maybe not after one, but still.
But
anyway, so but still, that'd be the only complaint I could make about Fountain, if that is Fountain's decision. But to blame Fountain for a player getting knocked into Satanga, okay, that's not Fountain's fault on the punt return. How do you blame the coach for that? I mean, that's just idiots that are fans saying we need to fire Fountain. We can't have that happen twice. No, that's a dumb player not paying attention to where his punt returner is. That's part of his job. Now, okay, now you decide to take him out. Understand that. Put someone else in there that's going to pay attention to where they are so they can block. But other than that, I mean, that's not Fountain's fault, man. People, come on. You're putting some blame on coaches. Now, Clint, I do have some blame for the coaches.
Go ahead.
Some things I didn't like. Okay. Now, we did a great job on their running back. Okay. And I understand the game plan was probably not to put so much pressure on the quarterback this game because you didn't think he was going to hurt you. You were worried about the Doak Walker winner. Okay. But what we have right now is we got a defense that's only had 1 sack in 2 games. Okay. We got a defensive line that should be getting more than that. And one of the things I didn't like about what they did, and this is maybe just a preference for me, they were doing double twist a lot on the defensive line, meaning the guard and the end would cross up, the end would go inside, the end would go inside, the tackle would go outside, and those are slow developing. A lot of times teams will do that on one side and then base rush on the other, things
Dale,
like that. Or
did you
they'll
watch,
do that, with a delayed blitz, and the pressure will come from the delayed blitz. We were doing it with just a 4-man front and on obvious passing downs.
yeah.
And I just don't think that's the best use of our guys. I think Nico and Landon beat guys one-on-one, no matter how good they are. I think they're going to be able to beat most of the guys we go against.
Did you watch Pittman? Did you watch Pittman's press conference today?
Yeah.
Where he's really talking about the things that they were doing. And now, number one, Oklahoma State does have a great pass protecting offensive line.
They do,
but,
yeah.
But we're also, we got a sack against UAPB. It was just a singular sack. And really, they're keying in on Landon. Do you think it'd be wise to, like, on passing downs, to maybe move Landon around? Maybe move him.
So. I worry about doing that too much, but a little bit, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe move him inside on like a 3rd and 10.
Yeah.
Let him do that. But at the same time, it's like other guys. Here's the thing: when you double team somebody, you put somebody else in one, because they've got 4 down linemen. You're going to double team Landon Jackson. That means you got 3 other guys one-on-one.
And that's what I'm saying about bringing those. Because last year, one thing Travis Williams was really good at is bringing the delayed blitz.
Yeah.
Where a linebacker would stand in there for like a 2 or 3 count and then take off. Especially, he did that a lot with that double twist. He would do the double twist and then he would send a guy in the A gap, which they did to us. Okay. And they did some delayed blitzes to us and got us mixed up. I mean, we had some bad pickups there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know, but that's, and I know why they did it. Okay. I know their main goal was to stop that running back. Okay. And we did. And so really the defense did everything they should. I was just wanting them to get home to the quarterback more, because I think he was a guy we could have got home to more.
Here's the thing. It's like Pittman said his press conference today. You're not going to go to a quality opponent, turn it over 3 times like they did, including a pick 6.
Yeah.
And you do that, and plus you miss the field goals that you miss. You went scheme wise. I mean, you're talking about the defense gave up 17 points, not counting the overtime, but they gave up 17 points. The offense, I mean, we put them in bad spots. Offense raked up 640 plus yards. I mean, on a ranked team at their place.
Yeah.
We've got a good football team, but we've got to start figuring out how to win these.
The other problem I think a lot of people had with the coaching, and Pittman admitted this, okay, and he said we got to do better, is they only played 2 running backs. And when your starter and your main power guy is leaving with cramps, then you get another power guy like Braylon Edwards, and I know he's a rookie. I know he's a freshman.
Yeah,
but at least get him some carries in there.
Travis, do you remember a few years ago we played Texas A&M, and we decided to try to force the bar to Malik Hornsby for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
And I agree with Pittman. Was like, it's hard because what we were doing were working, but we've got to. But here's the thing. I think if you look at Sam tends to learn a lesson. I think he learned that lesson. Like, it doesn't matter. We should have got him a couple carries early on, taking 2 or 3 of those carries, and then maybe he was going and felt more comfortable with that.
Yeah,
as cramping. But I mean, hindsight's 2020. I'm not going to fault them for that decision because what they were doing was working. But it
Yeah.
just
Well,
comes to
and
times where
I'm sure Jaquindon Jackson didn't want to leave either. I mean, he was
well,
probably
he did.
fighting them to stay in. And Jaquindon Jackson he was the best running back on the field that day. And maybe
Well,
the best player on the field.
well, Travis. Now speaking of best player on the field, who did you give the offensive MVP to?
Clint, my offensive MVP, this was a tough one. Um, the obvious choice would have been Armstrong, I think,
Yeah,
because everyone else, I mean, you could say Jaquindon Jackson, but then you got his mistakes. Okay. And he made some more mistakes than just the fumbles. He made some mistakes, I think. I don't know for sure, but in watching some of the highlights and some of there was some miscommunication and some blocking, and I think that was some backs not communicating and not picking up what they should have. And it was him in on those. One of them, our boy Kamara looked real bad on, but I think it was supposed to be a back picking up the guy, and he was. I think Carmona was. I don't think communication was where it should have been there, and
okay.
so that made me not pick Jackson. Although he had a beast of a game.
Yeah,
Armstrong had a beast of a game, and he would be the obvious to me because I don't think he made many mistakes at all. But I want to go with the whole receiving crew, Clint,
that's a good pick.
because I think the whole receiving crew really, um, there was maybe a couple catches you wish they would have got, but might have been sort of tough catches. But really, they really did good, and they're living up to, which Armstrong, of course, just awesome. But Tesla made a couple of key catches. Broden made a couple of key catches. I mean, and Satanga made some great catches. And watching them run routes, watching them block downfield, okay, doing the things, not just the basics of just catching the ball, but all the other stuff that receivers need to do well for a team to succeed. I'm going to say the receivers, man. I was impressed with them. I thought they had a great game.
Okay.
Who's
I'm
yours?
I'm giving it to Sam Pittman's ability to read the transfer portal.
Okay.
I was going to tell you, he don't miss often in the portal.
Yeah.
He really doesn't. When Pittman, if you look at the offensive line, you got four transfers as your starting offensive lineman, including Marion Harris right now. And who knows if Kudus would have been is healthy, who knows what the starting offensive line would look like. But it's nice to see. And then you're talking about your quarterbacks that transfer, your running backs transfer, the entire receiving corps transfers.
Yeah.
Really, you got your left guard and your tight end that are homegrown, and you got one receiver. The rest of it's portal.
Yeah.
And Pittman's, and I think you look at Taylon Green, you could easily given him the player of the game, 400 something yards.
Oh yeah.
It's and then I mean that's all, and that's portal guys, and that's who you're doing it with. And he seemed to so far. I feel like he's getting it right out of the portal, at
Yeah.
least on the. Travis, did you
Yeah.
have a defensive player of the game?
I did, and I'm gonna pick someone that probably I don't know. I don't even know what his stats were. But he seemed to be in the right place at the right time and make the right plays. Now if it wasn't for a suplex,
Yeah,
I would have said sorry.
he had a well of a ball game, and I
He had
hate
a
to.
heck of a game, but that suplex made me not want to go with him. He still probably was, because here's the thing about that, you know, there's guys that you want your guys to play on the edge. We talked about that. That's what we liked about Carmona. That's what we like about Blackstock, that they play on the edge. They're going to get us some penalties every now and then because they play on the edge. That's what Sorey is. Okay. He's playing on the edge a little bit. But my defensive player of the game I'm going with is TJ Metcalf. because
I,
safety is
I,
one of the places we're worried about.
I
And I
thought
thought
about
he did
Mama
good.
Metcalf. I really did. No, and you know what? And I'm giving it to a guy. I'm giving it to a guy that didn't play that much on defense. I'm giving it to Hudson Clark.
Yeah.
And the reason why he hurt his back and he went to the locker room, had to get some treatment and he came back out there. He's like, okay, you can't go defense, but how can I help the team?
Yeah.
Played special teams.
Yeah.
And dude, this was a tough loss because it was a loss that you should have had.
Yeah.
It's one you should have won.
Yeah.
So
and something I didn't realize, Clint, and just to kind of throw this in there, one of our transfers that is actually should have been a starting, or one of our, well, he's listed as an or on the depth chart, I guess. Marquise Robinson ended up getting a stinger in his shoulder before the game, and it was one to where his whole shoulder went numb. Like it wasn't a stinger, like, a lot of times stingers, people get them and they can go out. So he wasn't able to play. And the reason that was a big loss for us, because we don't know much about him, right? Because he's new. But he played for South Alabama last year, who went to Stillwater and beat Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
And he had a pick in that game and had a great one of the games of his career in that game, almost returned the pick for 6 points. Okay. And so he was fired up about he's getting a chance to go back to Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
And play again. He's like, in interviews and stuff, he would talk about, yeah, man, I hope they're talking about me coming back, And so that was we missed him,
Yeah,
but
you hate it for the kid. But what I was getting at is really what Hudson Clark did was leadership. It's not going in there talking, giving a rah-rah speech. It's leadership.
Yeah.
I don't know who, if they would have done traditional captains, who would have been wearing the C's on the chest, but or War Carmona, I got a feeling would have a C on his chest. I got a feeling Taylon Green would have a C on his chest. Hudson Clark might have a C on his chest. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what they need is for the guys that are the true leaders. And your true leaders don't need that C on their chest.
Yeah.
But the true leaders to step up and say, look, that happened. Because I really think Sam Pittman, Bobby Trino, Travis Williams had them in the spots to win the game. It just, unfortunately, they made too many mistakes, so they couldn't win the game. It was a good enough game plan. It's on them to be like, look, that performance wasn't acceptable. Those mistakes aren't acceptable. Let's get it fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead, Travis.
Well, it's something I've seen in the years, especially in watching high school football closely. I feel like it's happened at Arkansas, and it happened under Bielema, and I feel like it's happened under Pittman also. And it's not necessarily their fault all the time, because sometimes they, like you're talking about those captains, you need those guys. But I think that's been one of the problems is we haven't always had those captains on the field. And that's one of the reasons we're not finishing games. You look at the teams we've had that finished games, we had those guys on the field that said, okay, boys, lock arms, let's go. Let's finish this. We got our foot on their throat. Let's finish it. Or we're behind, but we got them. We can do this. Come on, lock arms with me. Let's do it. And that's what games like this, that's what you hope to see build. That's what those guys you mentioned, that's what's going to make or break this season going ahead. Do those guys step up, or do we have what we had last year and a bunch of guys let go of the rope that should have been leaders?
No, and that's the challenge. That's what's going to tell the tale of this season. Yeah. You took one on the chin. Now, the good news is you don't have a complete cupcake, but it's definitely not a Power 5 school coming in.
Now, before we get into them real quick, I got to do my I told you so.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Now I did, like I said, I picked. I wish, I had. I should probably go cut the clip up and show it. Okay, but I wish I had the clip of our schedule prediction. And when I did the schedule prediction, I said, I don't think UAPB is going to be a good enough warm up for us. Okay, and so that's why I picked us to lose to Oklahoma State. But I said I feel like we'll leave that game feeling good about good about a lot of things and feeling good about this team, and we'll figure some things out, and then we'll get to go to UAB, tweak those things, and that's why I think we'll beat Auburn. Okay, so far, look, my predictions, I'm usually 20% right at best. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I'm right, I want to say it. Um, so far so good. Now we'll see. What Auburn may I feel better about Auburn because they did lose to Cal. But like you're saying, we got UAB coming in, a team that we should beat. We probably shouldn't beat them 70-0, but we should, if we can beat UAPB like that, if we can have the offense and defense we showed against Oklahoma State, it should be 40-point win, don't you
Yeah,
think?
they're coming off a pretty good shellacking at the hands of Louisiana Monroe,
Mhm.
32-6. Uh, their offensive coordinator is Alex Mortensen,
That's
who
right. Former
former
third
quarterback.
string quarterback for the Razorbacks, or fourth string, or whatever he was.
Yeah, he was. Well, I think when he was there, everybody's like, he's going to make a really good coach one day.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting, because Trent Dilfer, former NFL quarterback's the head coach, Super Bowl winning quarterback, by the way. And Trent Dilfer had always had that quarterback camp where kids would come and train under him or whatever, high school kids and college
The Elite
kids and stuff.
11.
Yeah, the Elite 11 deal. And Alex, even as a college student, because of his dad's connection with Trent, was going out there and helping train quarterbacks even at a young age for him. So that's neat that Trent brought him to UAB with him. And now I did notice, this UAB team is interesting because they didn't have football here. How many years ago was it that they
They got rid of it for a season.
Yeah, after Garrick McGee, and or was it after him, or anyway he was yeah, something like that. They were on the downhill swing when he went there, but anyway, this should be a game to where we lick our wounds, we fix those mistakes. We uh we should I want to see both kickers in this game. That means we need to get some field goal tries. Now, if we score all nothing but touchdowns, like UAPB, but I want to see Shipley out there.
But Travis, I agree with you. You couldn't have been more right about Oklahoma. We feel good about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I feel good. Definitely, I feel great going into the this UAB game. And I really, listen, I'm not in complete panic mode, but we definitely got things to fix.
Yeah.
And hopefully this is a good get right game. And then you're going to the Plains, going to Auburn.
Yeah.
So,
I really think, Clint, after the UAB game, we're going to feel, look, right after the Oklahoma State game, it hurts, right? Right after that happens, you go double overtime, it hurts. And so you're mad, you're upset. Everybody's mad and upset. But I think with a little time, especially if we have a good showing against UAB, we're going to start realizing, okay, that Oklahoma State game was really good for us.
Yeah.
I think in hindsight, we're going to say, you know what? We learned a lot in that game. We were in a tough environment against a good team. We went to double overtime with them and should have, honestly, we were the better team than them. Okay. They're, what are they, 13th ranked now? Something like that.
Pretty high.
And so we were better than them in that game. And we were the more talented team.
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
And that's what and they were older. They had the oldest offensive line in college football. They got the oldest quarterback in college football. Okay. Or at least the most experienced, right? 7 years in football. Their offensive line is, I mean, their backups have 3 or 4 years experience in their offensive line. Like someone called into Chuck and Bo's show. It's on, I've been listening to it some on the way to work in the morning time. And someone called and said, "Hey, I hear one of their linemen may be out. Could that be a help for us?" And Chuck's like, "Not really." He said, "I've been doing their depth chart, their board, my board for calling the game." And he said, he said he read off the backups. He's like, 4 years, 3 year, 4 year, 3 year. He said, that's their backups.
It's funny you say that because I loved Pittman in his press conference talking to Bobby because they know what they got.
Yeah.
We're still figuring it out because, I mean, they got you got 50 something new players versus they had 18, 17 returning starters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it sucks, but let's take it for what it is. And we've got to learn to clean up the mistakes. You clean up those mistakes you make, just pure talent level, you're going to win close to what I predicted 8-4. Travis predicted 7-5. I think you're closer to me than you're going to get to Travis if you clean up the mistakes.
Yeah.
Really do. There is that much talent on this football team. There's only a couple teams that I think there's only one team that I think is truly head and shoulders above us on our schedule.
That's Texas.
Yeah, it's Texas. I mean, I think Ole Miss is a little bit better.
Yeah.
And probably Missouri's a little bit better too in that.
Tennessee.
Yeah. So
up there, but yeah. And the thing is, you mentioned that once again, I'll say it. If you just fix one of those mistakes in that game, just one of them. I mean, if Talon throws a better ball to Rodney Hill out of the backfield on that one play, if Jaquinton Jackson wasn't cramping up on the sideline on that 4th down run play, what would it have been instead of 186-pound Rodney Hill running it?
Yeah,
on 4th and short. And there's some questions about that call, but that's hard. I mean, I hate when you question a call like that because once again, if it works, it's the best call ever. If it doesn't, you're an idiot, So, but it's that's always a hindsight 2020 thing. I mean, but just a few little things like that, man. It's all if on the pick six, if that block is held a little longer and Talon's able to throw a better ball instead of getting drilled when he's hit by it. There was a play on the sideline. I think it was Broden made. I saw someone on YouTube showed it that if Pittman would have, and I'm sure, and he goes by what people are telling him upstairs, so it's not necessarily his fault. But if he would have argued the call, or thrown the flag or whatever, the red flag or however they do it, in college, that it was probably a catch by Broden on the sideline, and it would have been a first down because it looked like he got 1 foot in, but that's one of those things that, it happened quick. And I think we were trying to hurry up or something. So, but anyway, you got all those kinds of things, man. And there's so many, and that's the thing. Fans need to remember that it's a whole game and it's a whole season.
Yeah.
And so the problem's going to be if they don't take this and build on it, if they don't take it and learn from it.
And at the end of the day, a coach is an educator. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're an NFL coach, if you're a high school coach, college coach, you're an educator. You're trying to teach them kids to get better. And now they have, I think this is really something. It sucks that you lost it, but we're going to build on it. I don't think they're feeling sorry for themselves. And I seriously wholeheartedly believe Pittman when he says, I feel really good about this football team.
Yeah.
You know, they've got some mistakes to fix, and
Yep.
we'll know a lot more after Birmingham.
That's right. After UAB comes in. So, well, Clint, did you watch any NFL? Yeah. You said you watched a little bit.
Just a little bitty bit. I mean, I kept up with it. I'll be honest with you. I decided to create a two-star quarterback on NCAA,
Wow.
and I'm just trying to focus on transferring him and getting him to a Power Five school. So,
Okay, good. Yeah.
yeah. So,
What do you think of Dak's new contract? Did you hear about it?
no, I did not hear. They gave Dak a new contract.
223 million guaranteed.
Oh wow. Let me. I'm looking. I'm going to the ESPN.
Yeah. Yeah, is he got it right before he played the Browns. So he was playing on a new contract. Now, one of my buddies, Matt Sandifer, text me or text our group text and it was telling, and I haven't confirmed all this, but I was just going by what he said. And he's usually right. There was a defensive end in the NFL. I'm not sure who it was that was sitting out the game
Oh yeah, read
because because he's only making 800,000 a game, and they said that wasn't enough for him to play that game. Okay, or he's saying that wasn't enough pay or whatever. So he's sitting out for $800,000 for working for 4 hours.
You know, I'm not going to be as hard. I mean, it's a. Here's the thing: you give up a lot when you're an NFL player. Give up your
Yeah,
privacy because everybody's in your business. Your body takes a beating. You're in a freaking car crash, especially as a lineman. That many, like, listen, it's a fun job, but it's a job, and it's a job that's going to make you hurt the rest of your life. So get every dime you can.
yeah,
That's my.
yeah.
I mean, but I mean, still, $800,000 is a lot of money.
But I think he was telling me, and I didn't do the math on it, but Matt was saying that Dak makes 800,000 per quarter.
Well, it's 240 over 4 years, so he's getting 60 million a year.
Yeah. But like
But
I think just 220 something's guaranteed.
yeah, but I mean that's just that the where these quarterback contracts is nowadays is just
Well, see,
ridiculous.
the guaranteed thing is what blows my mind. Okay. Like he could have went out and pulled an Aaron Rodgers, tore his ACL, not played the rest of the year, and he's still getting paid that. Well, look at what Cleveland's into right now. They gave Deshaun Watson the worst contract and one of the worst trades ever to get him. Okay. It was stupid. Not only with his off the field stuff, but just he set out for 2 years before that. You didn't know what you were getting. Okay. And he's guaranteed they can't get rid of him now because they got like 3 more years on his contract. And he's
Baker
got,
was doing things no other quarterback had
I
ever done in
know,
Cleveland.
I know.
And everybody wanted him ran out of town. They're
That's
like, oh, he's the
that's
problem. He's
Cleveland.
the problem.
That's
He's
my
the problem.
team. I love them, but
And
that's
now
my
he's
team.
making. Now he's in a. You think he would trade Tampa Bay for Cleveland? No.
Yeah,
Like I got
he
Mike
likes
Evans
throwing.
down here.
Yeah, he's realizing why Johnny Manziel didn't do so good when he didn't have Mike Evans to throw to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like oh my goodness.
yeah. Maybe it was that guy.
Like oh, he's not going to resign. I'll take less money.
Maybe Johnny looked so good because of that big, tall, athletic dude that could go up and catch anything was doing so good.
Johnny Manziel.
Anyway, well,
He was,
folks,
he was fun to watch.
thanks for watching us and listening to us. Look, it's okay, folks. The Hogs are going to hog, and that means they're going to go out in this next game and they're going to do their best and they're going to kill UAB. And we're going to feel much better after next week. Going into Auburn, we're going to be talking, everybody's going to be fired up saying, I think we can beat Auburn, folks. I think we can beat Auburn. I like Bobby's offense. I like Travis's defense. Okay, so just get ready for that because that's what's coming. I hope that's what's coming. I hope I'm right on that, but we'll see. But seriously, folks, like, share, comment, root on those hogs. Let them know. Get on social media. Tell us what you think about what we thought. Okay, are we totally off base?
We're not.
Just let us know what you think about what we have to say. Interact with us. All right. Well, Clint, have a great week, man.
Bye.
Go Hogs. Woo pig.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come.